You ask most people what their number one fear is. What do you think it is? Most people's number one fear is public humiliation. Okay? I don't give a anymore. I'm not afraid of it.
Mel Gibson has been called a rebel, a visionary, and by some, a pariah. His latest film, Sound of Freedom, isn't just breaking box office records. It's breaking Hollywood's woke narrative. But with every triumph comes backlash, and Gibson's no stranger to that. From his infamous scandals to his unapologetic critiques of woke culture, Mel Gibson is a lightning rod for controversy. So, is he a fearless truth-teller or a relic of a bygone era? Mel Gibson's Sound of Freedom isn't just a movie, it's a movement.
South of that river is all rebel territory. No one goes in.
The film, which tackles the harrowing reality of child trafficking in Latin America, has become a cultural flashpoint. The film's success was unprecedented. It shattered box office records, grossing over $250 million worldwide, and sparked a global conversation about child trafficking. But with success came backlash. Mainstream media launched a series of attacks, labeling the film as fear-mongering and anti-woke. Gibson didn't back down. In interviews, he called out Hollywood's hypocrisy, stating,
"One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human and particularly of children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness. Go see Sound of Freedom."
They claim to care about social issues, but where are they when it comes to child trafficking? In a 2017 interview with John Lithgow, Gibson foresaw Hollywood's radical shift toward political correctness, stating,
And he said, "Hey, do you think I'm going to get in trouble filming this from the wrong side? I think we switched the camera ratio." Like, I didn't even know what he was talking about. And I said, "Yeah, it'll be fine. Just flip the frame." And went, "Oh."
Gibson has been unapologetically vocal about his disdain for what he calls the creativity-crushing, silence-enforcing beast of woke culture.
He flew.
Ooh.
And it was only a little while, because who knows why. I don't know.
Well, he was wanted.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he had done, one of the things that he had done was he had moved a priest that had molested 100 kids, and he moved him to some new place where he molested deaf kids.
Yeah, yeah. Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's the dirtiest, most evil practice that the Catholic Church has been accused of.
I think so, and many institutions as well, but that is a very bad one. And I think it's all part and parcel of the same corruption that crept in. And when you asked what's the difference between pre-Vatican II, so Vatican II happened, and of course they took the church and they reformed it, and they changed things in it, and it didn't necessarily agree with everything that went before it. And up to that point, yeah, you could find it agreed with itself, but all of a sudden you got something else, to the point where now, I mean, we got a pope that brought a South American idol into the church to worship.
Really?
He did. The Pachamama. He brought the South American, and he got.
I don't know what that is.
It's kind of like a South American god, Pachamama.
Why would he do that?
Good question. But he did.
His infamous 2006 arrest and anti-Semitic rant during a DUI stop in Malibu became a defining moment in his career.
He became uncooperative, profane, threatening, at times violent, banging himself against the car, inside the car, tried to escape.
Levitt obtained the arresting deputy's notes, which say the handcuffed actor also began a barrage of anti-Semitic remarks.
The Jews are responsible for all the wars, asking the deputy, was he Jewish?
Initially, none of Gibson's actions were made public. One sheriff's spokesman told reporters the actor was arrested without incident or special treatment.
And absolutely no favoritism to the suspect was shown.
The sheriffs lied. They just flat out lied.
Levin says the department changed reports and covered up for a celebrity who supports L.A. Sheriff Lee Baca and his charities.
It's really kind of outrageous for them to act like there's no cover-up here. Of course there's a cover-up.
The sheriff's department now promises an
But Gibson didn't fade into obscurity.
I'm just telling you the truth. I don't like it. I don't want that woman. I don't want you.
Gibson's defiance of Hollywood's woke agenda isn't limited to his films. In a 1998 interview, he reflected on his early days in Hollywood, saying,
You ask most people what their number one fear is. What do you think it is? Most people's number one fear is public humiliation. Okay? I don't give a anymore. I'm not afraid of it.
Despite the controversies, Gibson remains a formidable force in Hollywood.
Like, I've been hearing stuff about Passion too. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, I thought it's like, whoa, it's going to be a resurrection. So what is that all about?
Yeah, well, what's it about? That's a big number.
Yeah.
A few dance numbers. It'll be great.
In contrast, Gibson's controversies, such as his 2006 anti-Semitic rant during a DUI arrest, resulted in immediate and severe consequences.
Do you feel like you're a different person, maybe a better person than you were 5 years ago, 4 years ago? I mean, everything that we've read about, you've gone through a lot of ups and downs in the past few years.
Oh, yeah. 4 or 5 years, yeah. It's a real roller coaster ride. You know, I think I'm the same person I always was, except for people as they go. Time teaches, and, you learn as you go. So, hey.
Gibson's 2004 film, The Passion of the Christ, is a prime example of how his work sparks intense backlash.
That was a crazy movie because it was a great movie, but
Yeah.
it seemed like there was resistance to that movie.
Oh yeah, no, there was.
Which I thought was very strange. There was like Hollywood resistance to that movie. Like people didn't like that you were making it. It seemed like.
Yeah, there was a lot of opposition to it, and I don't know. I think if you ever hit on that subject matter, you're gonna get people going, because
Of course.
it's big subject matter, and it's like And my contention is, when I was making it, it was like, you're making this film, and the idea was that we're all responsible for this, that his sacrifice was for all mankind, and that for all our ills and all the things in our fallen nature, it was a redemption. So, and I believe that, I actually am, I was born into a Catholic family. I'm very Christian in my beliefs, So I do actually believe this stuff to the full.
In a Hollywood that often sidesteps or dilutes religious content, Gibson's bold embrace of Christian themes sets him apart.
And there's a school of thought that says it isn't what it purports to be anymore. It's moved away from what it was intended to be and what it is. Almost, there's a guy called Bishop Vigano who says it's a counterfeit parallel church, and it's running an entirely different religion.
This hypocrisy extends to the industry's treatment of woke culture. Gibson's critiques of political correctness and his refusal to conform to Hollywood's progressive agenda have made him a pariah in some circles.
From beginning to end, it's very brief. He says, women on film, either naked or dead. Both is better. And it's like, whoa. Ooh.
Even his colleagues have come to his defense. Robert Downey Jr., who credits Gibson with helping him overcome addiction, has publicly praised him.
Actually, I asked Mel to present this award to me for a reason, because when I couldn't get sober, he told me not to give up hope, and he urged me to find my faith. It didn't have to be his or anyone else's as long as it was rooted in forgiveness. And I couldn't get hired, so he cast me in the lead of a movie that was actually developed for him, and he kept a roof over my head, and he kept food on the table. And most importantly, he said that if I accepted responsibility for my wrongdoings, and if I embraced that part of my soul that was ugly, hugging the cactus, he calls it, he said that if I hugged the cactus long enough, I'd become a man of some humility, and that my life would take on a new meaning. And I did, and it worked. All he asked in return was that someday I help the next guy in some small way.
Gibson's defiance is a reminder that some voices will always push back against being silenced.
Actor and Academy Award-winning director Mel Gibson, an old friend, a Malibu resident who tragically just lost his home to the Palisades fire. Mel, I was thinking about you when I saw this fire break out. I think I talked to Raymond. I said, is Mel okay? Is his family okay? I instantly thought of you. He said he thought you were okay. And I'm glad you got out. I'm glad your family is safe. But tell us what it was like to be on Rogan's podcast when I guess you learned that your home had been lost.
Well, I didn't learn it was lost. I knew the neighborhood was on fire, then I was in the path. So I was a little tense while I talked to Joe, but he's a guy that can put you at your ease fairly well. So I was doing okay. And I knew that
Mel,
my family was safe and out of harm's way.
Were you able to get possessions? Of course, they're really immaterial when you have your family, but I've been to your house. It was an incredible home, beautiful home. But were you able to get anything out of your house?
Not much. A few necessary things. You know, my son I said, just go and grab this and this and this. And he grabbed like 3 things and took off. And then, you know, those are okay.
So, what do you think? Is Mel Gibson a visionary filmmaker driving a vital cultural shift? Or is he simply disconnected from the evolving landscape of Hollywood? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of celebrity entertainment.